All right, Shalom. I'm start by giving all the praises, glory, and honor unto Yahweh, Bashem, Yahushai, Bashem, Arachak, Wadash. Double honors to the elder apostles and bishops of the great millstone that rule well. Peace, blessings, and salutations to the for elect tabernacle of David, scattered abroad throughout the four corners of the earth. Now, this story, this incident, I believe it happened days ago. And I remember seeing the alert pop up that somebody in the that was involved in a Santeria ritual. They ended up taking a potion and ended up going wrong. And let's just say the Most High's judgments never fail. It never misses. And that's why this particular thing went left. Because the Lord, he's against all forms of witchcraft. And it made me think about the lesson that the elder Apostle Tahar just did on that topic. And here it is. You had an incident where somebody got judged because they was partaking in an activity that the Lord said not to do. So this is in Mexico. You know, you got the Latin tribes. They they have traditional practices where they involve ritual practices, and it's usually witchcraft. You know, brujeria being one of them, and Santeria is another one. All right, and there's a reason why the Lord told us to, stay away from these practices. All right, matter of fact, let me get this real quick. This is Exodus 22 and verse 18. And it says, "Thou shalt not suffer a witch to live." All right, so that's showing you right there, the Lord, he hates witchcraft in any form. Okay. And these are all the precepts. You go into the cross references, all the precepts in the law, where the Lord specifically instructed us not to, perform any versions of witchcraft, whether it be soothsaying, sorcery, divination. You got a lot of our people that's into, reading fortunes, tarot card reading, giving predictions based off of that kind of practice, and it's totally off. Okay, talking to channeling familiar spirits, ancestral spirits. Jake like to do what you call talk to the ancestors. That's wicked. Or you being a damn Hamite when you do that. All right. So anyway, and I'll get back to these, but I want to just play this little clip right here. All right, just so you can have the incident being explained in details as to what happened. All right, this is why we're not to do these things. And you got a lot of our people that are into it, especially these women. Women they're more so into tapping in the left hand than the men do. And it's wicked. So let's listen up.
Ocean truly give you power, or can it lead to a tragic end? In Oaxaca, Mexico, the pursuit of power through mystical means resulted in a horrifying outcome. 5 individuals, followers of the Afro-Cuban faith Santeria, met their untimely demise in a ritual that went dreadfully wrong. Santeria, a blend of Yoruba spiritual beliefs and Catholic traditions, has been the subject of controversy and criminal investigations in the past. This incident, however, takes a shocking turn as the victims themselves prepared and consumed a toxic potion, hoping to acquire powers. The ages of the victims ranged from 18 to 55, and they were found with no visible injuries, leading authorities to treat the incident as a group suicide. Investigations are currently.
Yeah, that judgment never misses. All right. Whoever perished being innocent, and where were the righteous cut off? Even they that sow wickedness, those that plow iniquity and sow wickedness reap the same. So that's exactly what they did. All right. They sowed to the flesh, and they reaped the corruption, and they perished. You know, drink a poisonous, toxic potion, thinking that that's going to give you power. Come on, man. That's silly. But you got some of our people that believe in this stuff. So they just found out. All right, now let me get real quick. Let's go to Revelation 21. Because if you into any form of witchcraft, sorcery, you're gonna be destroyed. If the Lord don't kill you then and there, he's gonna destroy you. All right. These are the type of demons that won't make it, if they continue to perform these things and don't repent from it. And I'm talking about our people. Revelation 21:8, it says, but the fearful, meaning the cowardly, all right, and unbelieving, Jake, that don't believe this truth, that don't have any faith, they don't stand on anything, they're gonna die. They're gonna die in their unbelief. It says, and the abominable, and murderers, and whoremongers, pimps, and sorcerers, and idolaters, and all liars shall have their part in the lake, which burneth with fire and brimstone, which is the second death. And I'm gonna just look up that word sorcerers. And those that partook in that ritual, they were sorcerers. And they got themselves put to death, being sorcerers. From the Greek word pharmakias, from pharmakon, where you get the word pharmacy from, a drug, i.e. spell-giving potion. And they thought that was going to give them powers. The only power we have is from Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, man, in the name. All right, through the Holy Spirit. That's the only form of power we have. Anything outside of that is left hand and is forbidden. All right, it says a spell-giving potion. And it said that they tried to drink this toxic potion thinking that it'll give them some type of power. And that was a fail. They ended up getting judged for that. A druggist, pharmacist, the person who whipped it up would be considered a true pharmacist. All right, a witch or a poisoner, i.e. by extension, a magician, sorcerer. So they got what they got. They got their just due. One who prepares or uses magical remedies, sorcerer. So this is what happened with these people. And you don't feel nothing for any of them. Everybody involved. All right. They got their just due, their judgment. The Lord is known for the judgments that he executes, man. He's right on time with his judgments. Let me get that in, was that Zephaniah? He said he suffered not a wish to live. Zephaniah 3 and verse 5, and it says, the just Lord is in the midst thereof. He will not do iniquity. Every morning will he bring his judgment to light. He faileth not, but the unjust knoweth no shame. So let me get back to the clip.
Currently underway to identify the substances that were used in the deadly concoction. While Santeria is known for its devotion to Orisha spirits through rituals such as divination and sacrifice,
our people are wicked as hell. And this is the reason why the Lord got them under these third world, impoverished conditions, man. This is why the Lord send devastating weather to them. This is why they're on the bottom. This is why they're starving. Because our people are wicked as hell, man, and we're not supposed to be partaking in any of these things. But they get into it, and a lot of it they were under the influence of the nations that they were surrounded by, mainly those Canaanites and those Hamitic nations. You see that the Northern Kingdom, they never really left that behind. Let me see if I can find this precept. Psalms 105, I think it's in this chapter. Psalms 106, yep. Psalms 106 and 34 says, they did not destroy the nations concerning whom the Lord commanded them, but were mingled among the heathen and learned their works. And all this witchcraft, all these different ritual practices and customs, Jake learned that from the heathen. And Jake, they'll allow a culture that they get assimilated into, get rooted into their own culture, and that becomes a snare unto them. And they wonder why the curses follow them everywhere they go. We're supposed to remain separate and not to do the works that these other nations are doing. So you see the end results of every time Jake gets involved. And they serve their idols, which were a snare unto them. They sacrificed their sons and their daughters unto devils, demons, and shed innocent blood. And that's the Northern Kingdom. You know, they were doing that over here on this side of the world. They showed you that in that movie Apocalypto. Wicked as hell, man. So they'll even sacrifice their children. It says, and shed innocent blood, even the blood of their sons and of their daughters, whom they sacrifice unto the idols of Canaan, and the land was polluted with blood. Thus were they defiled with their own works and went a whoring with their own inventions, and getting into all these rituals and practices, you know, getting into all forms of witchcraft. That's what they was involved with. Now let's go to Leviticus 18. And it says here, Leviticus 18 and 3. It says, matter of fact, let me start at the top. It says, and the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, speak unto the children of Israel, and say unto them, I am the Lord your power. After the doings of the land of Egypt, wherein ye dwelt, shall you not do. And after the doings of the land of Canaan, whither I bring you, shall you not do. Neither shall you walk in their ordinances. So the things that you see these Canaanite nations doing, what you see these Egyptians doing, you don't do. And then it gets specific in the laws what they were involved with. All right. And it even gets even more detail oriented when you go to the Apocrypha and Wisdom of Solomon, where it told you what those Canaanites were guilty of doing and why the Lord had to clear them out of the land, because, you know, that was getting ready to be our land, which the Lord had promised going back to Abraham. So this is Wisdom of Solomon 12. And I'm going to start at verse 3. It says, for it was by thy will to destroy by the hands of our fathers both those old inhabitants of the Holy Land, talking about those Canaanites, which there were 7 families of Canaan, whom thou hatest for doing most odious works of witchcrafts. So the Lord, he hates witchcraft. And hey, the apostle went into that, Apostle Tahar. All right. And wicked sacrifices. Jay gets all into that. In the Southern Kingdom, they do it too, especially our women. The women down there in the South and in the Caribbean, they heavy into it. All right. And then a lot of women do that to get an edge over their men, because women know physically, on a physical playing field, they're not equal with their men. So to get that advantage or power over the man, this is the avenue, all right, that they take. So you got to be careful, man, with some of these women out here. Even Solomon said, I even find more bitter than death the woman whose hand is snares and nets. And she can put you in a snare, all right. She do the right, put the right spell on you. She can have you stuck and twisted, man. There's a lot of male victims out there. All right. It says, and also those merciless murderers of children, because they would sacrifice their own children to their idol. Mainly it was a Molech that they were doing it to. And Jake, seeing the Canaanites do that, they were doing that as well. And devourers of man's flesh, cannibalism, and feast of blood, drinking blood in these rituals. That's what they do. Hell, the elites do these things. They sacrifice children, and then they take the blood from it and they drink it. They call it, it starts with an A. I call them chrome shots. And they do that because it keeps them, I guess, youthful looking, meaning they don't age. That's why they drink it. And they'll stay looking young for a long period of time. That's what they say, that the effect that particular thing has, that ritual. All right, but this is what those Canaanites were doing. So you see why the Lord had us go into Jericho and into the land, and we had to put them down, and we couldn't make any marriages with them. We couldn't make any covenants with them. We had to destroy all their altars and their images, But what did Jake do? So that became a snare to him. Now you gonna tell me that the Northern Kingdom aren't our people when they're still doing the same shit that they was doing back then? Following after the customs and practices of the heathen, man. It says, and the parents that killed with their own hands souls destitute of help, that the land which thou esteemest above all other might receive a worthy colony of God's children. Nevertheless, even those thou sparest as men, and didst send wasp, forerunners of thine hosts, to destroy them by little and little. Yeah, the Lord sent those killer hornets to go and start taking those Canaanites out. All right, showing you the Lord is he's terrible, man. Alashadja, that's right there. The Lord is the King of terrors, man. He'll send up a swarm of killer hornets and send them after you. You see what the Lord is doing right now with them cicadas, and they're harmless. All right. The Lord could do the same thing and raise up killer bees, hornets, wasp, you name it, man. It says, not that thou was unable to bring the ungodly under the hand of the righteous in battle, or to destroy them at once with cruel beasts or with one rough word, but executing thy judgments, because that's what it's about, man, judgment upon them by little and little, and thou gavest them place of repentance, and not being ignorant that they were a naughty generation, and that their malice was bred in them, and that their cogitation would never be changed, because Jake gets them, they get so tied up into their flesh, the senses of their flesh, man, is Jake getting dictated by the pleasure of their flesh. And that can't change. That's why the scriptures talk about us being under the bondage of corruption, the chains of darkness, man. That's one of the reasons why Jake gets involved in these left-hand things, man. It says, for it was a cursed seed from the beginning. Neither didst thou for fear of any man give them pardon for those things wherein they sinned. For who shall say, what hast thou done? Or who shall withstand thy judgment? You can't get in the way of the Lord's judgment. It tells you that in Proverbs, that only the evil person understand not judgment. Judgment is there for a reason. It's to prevent evil from spreading. That's why there's a judgment for when a man sleeps with another man's wife, commit adultery. There's a judgment on that. If two men get together and have relations like a man and a woman do, there's a judgment for that. So there's also a judgment for if you practicing witchcraft, sorcery. Okay. A lot of people in the entertainment industry, they do it all the time. You had that one bitch that got caught. I think she was butchering or sacrificing chickens or something like that. It's that one rapper chick, Azalea Banks, I think. She's into that. And the Lord's going to kill her too. When the Lord gets her, just know that that's judgment. Who can withstand the Lord's judgment? It says, "Oh, who shall accuse thee for the nations that perish, whom thou made? Or who shall come to stand against thee to be revenged for the unrighteous men?" So, yeah. So that's why the Lord got rid of those Canaanites, even though Jake didn't kill all of them like they were supposed to. But going back, this is back in the law. It says, verse 4, it says, "You shall do my judgments and keep mine ordinances to walk therein. I am the Lord your power. You shall therefore keep my law, my statutes and my judgments, which if a man do, he shall live in them. I am the Lord. None of you shall approach to any that is near of kin to him to uncover their nakedness. I am the Lord." So this is going into sexual immorality. You know, you're not supposed to deal with none of your close relatives. You know, basically dealing with incest, homosexuality, bestiality. All that is in here. These are the things that we're not supposed to do. And there was a trend not too long ago amongst these women where women was basically bragging about sleeping with horses or something like that. Like, what? And then I think it was something about bears or something like that as well. I'm like, what the hell are these hoes talking about now, man? The shame just never, it never, like, come on, man. There's like zero shame among our women right now. And they'll go all over social media with it. Disgusting. It says, verse 20. Okay, I think that was yeah, I think that's it on that. Let's go to Deuteronomy 18. Yeah, Deuteronomy 18 and 9. Spiritism forbidden. And a lot of women like to talk that spiritual shit. They like to get into the zodiac thing. They like to get into all that. And they don't think there's nothing wrong with that. You know, they call it, being spiritual. No, you're just being a demon. Let me go to the NLT on this one. And it says, "When you enter the land the Lord your power is giving you, be very careful not to imitate the detestable customs of the nations living there. For example, never sacrifice your son or daughter as a burnt offering, and do not let your people practice fortune telling or use sorcery or interpret omens or engage in witchcraft or cast spells or function as mediums or psychics or call forth the spirits of the dead." Like to talk to their dead relatives and all that. That's wicked. "Anyone who does these things is detestable to the Lord. It is because the other nations have done these detestable things that the Lord your God will drive them out ahead of you. But you must be blameless before the Lord your power." And 2/3, they're not blameless. That's why they're going to get judged. It says, "The nations you are about to displace consult sorcerers and fortune tellers, but the Lord your power forbids you to do such things." So it's clearly in our law. We're not to, do these things. So these people that did this, hey, Now they're in the spiritual realm, standing before the Father, and hey, you know, they gotta stand to him. Okay. So I'll finish this clip off and then we'll close it.
It adds a chilling aspect to the faith. It also echoes a recent tragedy in Angola, where over 50 people lost their lives after being forced to drink a herbal potion to prove they were not sorcerers. The incident in Oaxaca is not the first time Santeria has been linked to criminal activities in Mexico. In a separate case, a man confessed to killing women and selling.
Man, they're wise to do evil, but to do good, they have no knowledge, man. They're wise to do this wickedness, but to do good, they just they don't know. All right. And you don't think that there's not brothers down in Mexico? There's brothers all over the world teaching this truth. So none of them have any excuse. They're gonna die in their sins, their wickedness, man.
Their bones to practitioners of Santeria. This recent tragedy, however, highlights the dire consequences when belief and desperation intersect, leading to the loss of 5 lives in the pursuit of power. To summarize, the recent incident in Mexico involving the deaths of 5 individuals during a Santeria ritual has raised serious concerns about the faith and its practices. The victims, in their quest for power.
Yeah, this is all wickedness. And you can't, they say that the Catholics practice that. You can't be, like the scriptures say here, you can't be a partaker of the Lord's table in the table of devils, demons. 1 Corinthians 10 and 20. It says, no, not at all. I am saying that these sacrifices are offered to demons, not to the Most High. And I don't want you to participate with demons. You cannot drink from the cup of the Lord and from the cup of demons too. You cannot eat at the Lord's table and at the table of demons too. What do we dare to rouse the Lord's jealousy? Do you think we are stronger than he is? And our people, they get them jealous every time they sacrifice to these devils, man. Trying to worship in these other idols. And it tells you that about Ephraim. They're joining to idols. Still at it to this day.
Consumed a toxic potion they prepared themselves, resulting in their deaths. As investigations continue, the incident serves as a grim reminder of the potential dangers of such practices and the extreme lengths some will go to in their pursuit of power. Thanks for watching.
Well, they got judged. Called Lord Yabashmiao Shai for taking those wicked people out. And I'm pretty sure it was mainly because this happened in Mexico. Those are some wicked ass Issacharites, man, Mexicans. All right, they Mosai got their ass up out of there. Good for them. All right, it's time for Jake to stop being so damn just low. All right. So you know, hopefully this was edifying. Let me give all praise to Yahweh Shai, and until the next one, Shalom.